Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another week, another edition of ESL Open Cup number 174 Americas, Papi Americas. We just finished up, we just wrapped up with ESL Open Cup Asia 7 hours ago. Oh, I guess the broadcast 7 hours ago, because we were, of course, casting World Team League. I have woken up in time. I was afraid I wouldn't, but who needs sleep? As we have our first series here of the morning, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the best player in all of Singapore, the Red Protoss, representing Unidos por el Vicio. It is LeoRusher. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have as opponent, we have the Peruvian Zerg player representing Exeditus Ignite. It is NeosShaggy. Oh, let's go, Bobby. It has been so long. It's been months since I've casted NeosShaggy. He is mi hijito. Oh my god, we do have some close ties with both Southeast Asia and Latin America. Very familiar with both of these players, and it's great to see them once again. Great to see. Oh, a little bit heartbreaking to see them facing off against each other, but this is what we want to be seeing. NeosShaggy has been an up-and-comer for a while. We've been seeing him rise the ranks through Diamond, through Masters 3, through Masters 2, through Masters 1. There was that one season where he did peak into GM a little bit as well. So he's going to be a little bit of the underdog here as he's going up against LeoRusher. LeoRusher, he has been really showing off a lot of his form, a lot of his macro. Back in the day, back in 2019, 2018, LeoRusher lived up to his name. LeoRusher was a very, very cheesy player. Constant proxy 4-axe, cannon rush, just all the kind of cheddar and cheese you could imagine. Basically, he was a real Protoss player. But over the past year, so relatively recently in the grand scheme of things, over the past year, maybe even 6 months, LeoRusher has been, did take a break from the game, did return, and has been putting in a lot of work, has been working on his macros specifically, and now he's honestly a pretty well-rounded player. We got to see him in the Funky tournament with the new map pool. We got to see him in the ESL Masters events as well. LeoRusher even defeated and eliminated Demi in the ESL Master qualifiers for ESL Masters Asia. So LeoRusher has been looking really impressive recently. Of course, still working his way up the ranks, and yeah, this would be a good start for him. And meanwhile, NeosShaggy, I haven't seen him in a long time, ever since last year when we had the Latin American weekly tournaments like Sentimiento Latino and Copa Hyperion. Without the regular Latin American tournaments, yeah, I just haven't seen enough of NeosShaggy. It's a little bit sad. Haven't seen him, or there aren't as many events to participate in, so I want to see what he is looking like now after all these months. Let's go, Poppy, let's go. So far we have everything looking pretty standard. Hatchcast pool. NeosShaggy did go for his natural, going for his third base as well. Everything's looking quite good. Meanwhile, across the map, LeoRusher as well is going to be going into a Stargate opener into Oracle play. So everything's looking standard, pretty standard. Standard stuff. You love it to see it. Oh. And from here, we'll see where we end up going. Again, I imagine LeoRusher is going to be going into his third base momentarily, into a Twilight Council and a Forge, as is to be expected. My eyes are on NeosShaggy. When I think of NeosShaggy, I do think of a very Demaga-esque play where we cut workers at a certain amount, at around 60 to 66 drones, and then we start working on roach production. But we actually have a good amount of links coming across the map, so NeosShaggy is going to try and vie for control here of the third base location. At the same time, the Oracle dips in, but no, the Spores and Queens are in position. Lings do dive in, and they will get a kill on that probe. Risky move, but it does pay off in the end. This will be delaying that third Nexus for quite some time from LeoRusher. Even forces the activation of that Pulsar Beam as well, and ooh, the Oracle is out of energy. So again, some nice damage done here by these Lings. From here, we can saturate our third base. We're rotating our Queens. We're getting our Spores up and running as well. So NeosShaggy is covering his bases. Very nicely done. Meanwhile, across the map, LeoRusher is going for the Forge, but where's that Twilight Council? Interesting that he's going to be prioritizing his upgrades, his overall unit upgrades over something like Blink or something like Charge. This could lead into more defensive play. He's throwing down 2 more gates, 4 in total. Not an amazing amount. So again, there's that Twilight Council. Just going to be a little bit delayed. Just going to be focusing on that +1 upgrade instead. So he's not going to be as active. He's not going to be as in the face of his opponent. At least not until that +1 really does kick in. Meanwhile, we've got our 2 oracles across the map. Sorry, we've got 3 oracles, as the 3rd one just came out. Ooh, but we do fly a little bit too close to the sun there. The first oracle does get focused down by the queen. Oh. So LeoRusher slipping up a little bit here, even almost going within the path of those queens. Again, it's been really nice to see NeosShaggy for the most part keeping up here. His 4th base is delayed though, and I'm concerned a little bit. Even if we do cut workers at around 60 or so, we're gonna need some lava here instead. NeosShaggy going to be delaying his 4th in favor of double Evo chambers for double upgrades. He's looking a little bit more conservative here, like he just really wants to secure himself on these 3 bases first before he really does intend to divert out. And finally, we have that 4th. Is going to be late, but you know, we're getting the 4th nonetheless. Meanwhile, back at home, this is what I was assuming. Because we had a bit of a later blink timing, that does mean that, you know, we're going to be chilling back at home. We got a 2nd robot on the way, Robotic Spade. We're going to be getting into double Colossus production. So this is a relatively new style coming out from Protoss players, maybe over the past month, maybe month and a half. Quite a lot of Protoss players have been playing around with being less aggressive with Blink Stalkers and being a lot more tech-based instead. They're kind of waiting to receive any kind of Zerg army. We're just going to be working up towards 4 Colossus and just working on that Protoss Death Ball. Oh boy. So because this is going to be giving up map control to NeosShaggy, NeosShaggy with that map control hasn't been droning too heavily. He's double expanding as we speak. He's working on a macro hatch as well, but the drone count is going to be lacking here from our Peruvian Zerg. We have the freedom to saturate our bases, to work up to even 80 drones, and we're going to need it because, again, this army here from LeoRusher is going to get insane. I assumed he was going to move out with 4 Colossi, but he could even move out with 2, so he's got to be careful about that as well. Needs to get some spotters out. NeosShaggy is going to be finally droning and saturating this 4th base, and he's going to be taking into a Spire. I do appreciate this. I do think, it is a bit of a late tech overall. We do see the Adepts trying to get into the main base. One of them is going to be going down. The remaining Adept will remain in the natural, so LeoRusher is in the dark, hasn't seen the Spire. Meanwhile, NeosShaggy is getting eyes on at least the 4th base. He's going to be looking to force a cancel and is cutting workers. This is kind of what I assumed. Again, very Dimaga-esque. 64 drones is all we need, as we're going to be looking to remax here on Ling, Roach, Ravager. We, of course, have that Spire on the way behind this. 2-2 is on the way as well. Colossi have been revealed. Now, upon seeing the Colossus, we can do one of 2 things. We can tech up into a Hive and go for Vipers, or we can make use of this Spire and maybe try and harass and go for the Mutas, go for even Corruptors. We'll see what gets done, as there it is, the Infestation Pit is thrown down. Ooh, also, we have forgotten about Bathing Speed. There we go, we're pushing on forward. Biles do connect with the army. LeoRusher going to be vying for control of the center of the map. We are getting into Corruptor production. Interesting. I mean, there are a lot of Colossus, so Corruptors, you know, they're going to get value over time here, but LeoRusher, he's kind of already got his Death Ball. He's pushing on in. We do see a surround being set up by NeosShaggy. But that flanking army is coming in a little bit late. Finally, we're going to be diving on forward here. Biles are going to be connecting, but the first army did already get demolished. And it looks like LeoRusher is just gaining too much ground. Again, that surround was a little bit mistimed by NeosShaggy, and again, his economy isn't the most amazing either. We definitely could have droned up a little bit earlier. As LeoRusher has broken on through, he's going to be able to take down the 5th base and can keep on pushing. All 4 Colossus still alive. We're getting into Disruptor production behind this as well, and The reality is that NeosShaggy just doesn't have a lot remaining here. He's got a couple of roaches, he's got some Ravagers that just morphed in as well. The Biles are gonna have to connect, and they will! But the Colossus, they just eat the Biles. We try to rain down those Biles here on the army, and some of them are hitting, some of them not so much, but there's still too much Protoss remaining. The third base will be broken. Reinforcements are trickling on in, but again, LeoRusher just has a bit too much. He will lose his Prism, so no more reinforcements. That may buy NeosShaggy a little bit of time as the Corruptors are coming out. But again, we just don't have too much of a standing army remaining. We are down to a couple of Ravagers, one Ravager, 17 Roaches. And the Corruptor did just die as well. +3 on the way behind this. LeoRusher just rotating over towards the last real mining base here of a NeosShaggy. He's going to try and dance with the army, but again, now we even have Disruptors. Nice hold position micro from LeoRusher. Whoever's going to be going up is going to miss. We do have some decent target firing coming out from NeosShaggy. He's trying to dive on top of the Colossus. He gets one, he gets two, and GG gets called. He wanted to at least kill some Colossi before tapping out. GG. LeoRusher takes game number 1. Ooh. And some pretty straight up play, some pretty terrifying macro from LeoRusher. Meanwhile, NeosShaggy in a situation where maybe he's not too familiar with having the freedom to drone, right? Again, LeoRusher just kind of gave up map control, said you can do whatever you want, and we've seen this before in Hero versus Dark. We've seen this before in Hero versus Dark, where if Hero does go for this style that we just saw, then Dark, he just takes full advantage of the map. He drones up to 85, even 90 workers, and even throws down a bunch of tech as well. He just takes full advantage of the freedom given to him. NeosShaggy wasn't quite able to do that. Again, maybe a little bit inexperienced against that specific build, because against that, you can cut Lings, you can cut Roaches, and you want to jump on that drone count. Here we go. We're diving into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, we have the Singaporean Protoss player representing Unidos por el Vicio, the best player in all of Singapore. It is LeoRusher. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have as opponent, we have the Peruvian Zerg player representing Exeditus Ignat. It is NeosShaggy. Fun fact, we did exchange Gaz just as we were getting into game number 1. The war cry is definitely something that NeosShaggy does need, as this time the probe gets here in time to force a bit of delay. Does go for the pylon block as well, and NeosShaggy is going to be forced to take the unnatural natural. He doesn't want to, but he will. Oof. Oh. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. As we are going to be eventually taking that base. Meanwhile, the pylon finishes as well. I'm sure NeosShaggy was hoping that we would see a cancel instead, so we could still expand here at the natural location, but no, does end up finishing. We are going to be going for a pool first as well. It was a pool, hatch, then soon to be our gas. But honestly, pool firsts on Altitude, they aren't ideal. We can't really do too much with it, especially because, ooh, LeoRusher is going for a double gate opening. Aye. See in the chat, Light, you're an animal. Shaking my head. Lad is our daddy, so we need to be there for them. I'm your papi. I'm your papi. Get it right, Sander. Get it right. I didn't sleep. I think, how many hours did I sleep today? Like 5? Like 5.5 hours? Yeah. It's okay. I'll be okay. I'll be fine here for ESL Americas. But we do have a cast later on tonight. We do. The probe does get a kill on that pylon. We do have a cast in the evening for for the OSC mid-season playoffs. So, yeah, gonna be a jam-packed day. I may even nap in between the casts, in between ESL Americas and OSC. We'll see. We'll see, you know, how much time I have before said cast, as with the double gate opener, this delays the Nexus from the Protoss player, and LeoRusher is going to be able to come out with first 2 Adepts and soon to be 4 Adepts. But okay, it's going to be delaying the additional 3rd and 4th Adept, just going to be being aggressive with 2. And with these 2, we can one-shot workers, we can wreak a lot of havoc here. NeosShaggy has to be careful with his workers, with his army movement, his army control. So we go, the Adepts do threaten that 3rd base. They do dip in towards the main. 1 drone already going to be going down. We're going to be getting a 2nd and maybe even a 3rd. Oh, we actually don't get 2 drones. Nice pull away here. A lot of lost mine time, though, as the Adepts do escape. We go, only 1 drone. Meanwhile, the Lings do come out in time. They are going to be able to take down at least 1 of the Adepts here. It's going to be a little bit difficult to keep up with the 2nd. Oof. As the Adept does escape. Behind this, we're going to be getting into our Stargate opener. This double gate opener from LeoRusher didn't really work out too well for him. I do think that he probably could have snowballed, but I guess like what I said earlier about the pull first also applies here, where I'm sure 2 gate openers aren't ideal on altitude because it just takes so long for the Adepts to reinforce and to really deal too much damage. So an interesting choice here by LeoRusher. Meanwhile, finally, he's getting into his Stargate, into his Oracle as well. First Oracle is going to be zooming across the map, and NeosShaggy is preparing back at home. We have our Spore in the main on the way. No Spore at the Natural or the 3rd. Now we get it with. Thank you. Okay, we do have a Spore at the 3rd, at least. So the Natural is looking the most exposed. Hopefully, we can get some Queens over here as well. Looking at the unit tab, we only have 2 Queens. We are lacking Queen production. As a result, we're getting a Spore in every single base, and I think a lot of this does come down to the fact that we made 11 Lings. We overmade Lings. We had to because of the Adepts earlier, but as a result, that Queen count is impacted. The Queens and the drones. Meanwhile, LeoRusher, he just establishes his 3rd base. Once he knows he's safe and sound, he's going to be moving out with his first Oracle. He's got a 2nd Oracle coming out behind this, and we're transitioning into a Blink, into a Forge, or so into a Twilight Council and into a Forge at the same time. So this should be a bit of a stronger timing here. We should be seeing some more aggression out of LeoRusher with his Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, like, oh no! Oh, the wall is not a wall. The Stalker, I thought it was in position, and LeoRusher did as well. But the Lings, they get into the main base, they get into the Natural as well. Probes are going to be falling, and some lost mine time here as we do see. Oh, the target firing. Up. 3 probes go down. Not an insane amount of worker damage, but you know, we do get a full scout of the main. We confirm the timing of the Forge and the Twilight Council, so we should be fully aware of what's coming our way. And yeah, we're able to just cause a little bit of chaos. We can drone up behind this, but no, NeosShaggy, not LeoRush. NeosShaggy actually made another wave of Lings. I don't really know how useful this will be. Again, I feel like these Lings could have been drones, but we're looking for some more damage. We're looking for a way in. But the Adepts are back at home, and yeah, the Lings are having a hard time finding too many kills here, but they're going for the surround. They do force the activation of the Pulsar Beam. That's the power of the defensive Oracles. Honestly, Lings will do nothing here. They'll do absolutely nothing. There are just too many Oracles back at home, as LeoRusher is choosing to be more defensive than anything. There we go. Finally, he moves out, and this is pretty important. He needs to figure out how many bases, the drone count, the tech of the Zerg. Back at home, I'm sure he doesn't have the Oracles to defend, but he has SimCity, he's got shield batteries on the way, he's got Adepts, he's got Stalkers, he has plenty going on. We even get a bit of a revelation on those Lings. Back at home, we've got our double Evo chamber set up, we've got our Roach War and 4th base on the way. Our drone count is still a little bit lacking here, as, we are fully saturating, or almost fully saturating here on 3 bases. And behind this, +1 is about to kick in. We got our gateway explosion on the horizon. I don't believe we have a prism. So without a warp prism, we can't really push out. It looks like we're going for a similar play style as we did in game 1, where LeoRusher was just kind of waiting back at home until a +2 timing with 4 Colossi. Here, likewise, 2 Robos are on the way. We have a Bay on the way. It looks like he once again wants to get into that Colossus production. So a bit of a different way to get there. It feels like slightly safer way to get there. Not as efficient as game 1, but, you know, it's going to be working towards that nonetheless. Likewise, just like game 1, I do feel like NeosShaggy can be taking advantage of that and fully saturating his bases. Alas, he still isn't. He's still making roaches back at home just to be safe, and again, I don't blame him. NeosShaggy, he is lacking some scouting information. He's going to be checking the 4th base and confirming that nothing is quite there yet either. He just pokes and prods. He's drawing away the army. The Roach Ravager's pushing on forward, but we have a revelation on this. LeoRusher does spot it coming a mile away. And there are those Colossi, 2 being made at a time. We have charge behind this. Once we get forward, we can start disruptor production. And NeosShaggy, he's going for a really heavy Roach Ravager style. He's got 3 Evo chambers, which is interesting, but he's working on +1 range and +1 carapace. So this is going to be like a 2-2 Roach Rav timing. These can hit quite hard, and NeosShaggy has successfully joined up to 85, so he has a really solid worker count. He could do with another hatchery just for more larva, but other than that, he is looking poised to max out. As I say that, that's exactly what he does. He is now maxed out, 200 supply, roaches, ravagers, lings, you name it. He's looking for a way in, but unfortunately, this 3rd base is looking pretty heavily fortified. We've got a shield battery cannon and the army alongside stasis traps. The 4th is looking more exposed, but NeosShaggy, he's looking for it. He hasn't seen the 4th. He checks the right-hand side, and he realizes that nothing is quite there. As here we go, LeoRusher is going to be pushing out across the map with his army. He does activate his pulsar beams. He's going for the Ravagers. At the same time, Bailing's speed just finished up, and the Bailings are headed towards that 3rd base. Oh, LeoRusher does pull back for a moment. No! Oh, the stasis trap does go off on those Bailings. LeoRusher has defended back at home, and now it's all about this push. Bile's raining down upon the army, but no, the Blinks do avoid them. We don't have the Ling Bane to protect this army. The Ravagers will fall, and LeoRusher has broken through. We joined up to 92, which is quite a lot of workers here, which means we do need to trade as best we can. Roaches are coming in to reinforce. A lot of Stalkers are falling, but the Colossi, they're still here. They're still just raining down lasers from the sky. Bailey's turn around. They come in from behind. We're gonna get a full surround. Yo, can the reinforcements be enough? Is NeosShaggy gonna be able to defend? He's trying. He's trying to get on top of this, but no, the reinforcements come in. The Prism comes in. The hot pickup is real. The Colossi will be saved. NeosShaggy had a bit of a better fight compared to game 1, but alas, it wasn't enough. Unfortunate that he didn't do damage across the map. Unfortunate that the Ling Bane wasn't at home either to defend. One or the other would have been preferable. As the 4th base goes down. Oof. Bile almost takes out a Colossi. But alas, too much Protoss once again. GG gets called, and LeoRusher takes the series 2-0. GG. Well played. GG. With that, LeoRusher moves on to the next round. My condolences to NeosShaggy. My condolences. Of course, there's a soft place in my heart for old mate NeosShaggy. He's so shaggy. Much love to him. Oh. As NeosShaggy gets eliminated and LeoRusher moves on to the next round.